What's going on, guys? So, good morning, good morning. It's gonna be really hard for me to share, but I don't think I've actually formally shared kind of my backstory and what led me to really get into the fitness industry. So, I was injured. I used to play football. I used to be very, very serious with football, working out about 6 hours a day. I was training like 5 times a day, because I wanted a scholarship. And I had actually gotten an opportunity to be offered potential scholarships, and then I got injured, you know. And after I got injured, it was the first time that I've actually felt like damaged goods, because when I got injured, I lost a ton of different opportunities, and it just seemed like it was just like an uphill battle to get to where I wanted to go. And so the result of that, and then on top of that, just didn't feel the same, my body wasn't moving the same, and I just kind of lost love for the sport. So after not realizing, I'm not gonna be able to have an athletic scholarship, I had to transfer, and I was fortunate enough to take an academic scholarship that was able to cover the tuition. But I had other things I needed to do. I had work, I had life in between being a full-time student and working and paying the bills. And I didn't have the energy to work out anymore. That wasn't really the true reason why I stopped working out. The real reason why I stopped exercising was honestly because when I had stopped playing football, my ego had taken a big hit. My identity was wrapped in being a football player for so long, and it showed by my physique. I was jacked, and so something started to happen, and it was the first time this really started to happen in my life. Is I started listening to what people were saying. Before then, I had a big ego. I was very confident about myself. I was very in tune with who I was because my identity was wrapped around being a very good football player. But after that, I started listening to what people were saying. People were saying, "Iggy, you're buff for no reason." Or to say, "Iggy, what's the point of walking around so jacked? You don't even play football," And they started saying these things, and there were jokes, but this was the time when I was already feeling really insecure about myself. So hearing people say these things, I started paying attention to it, because these are feelings that I was having about myself. These are feelings that I was already experiencing, insecurities about who I was. And so hearing people say that out loud, I started paying attention to what everybody was saying about me, and I started believing it. I was like, well, why do I even need to bother working out? I am buff for no reason. I don't play football anymore. What's the point of all this, And so that's what led to me just kind of giving up fitness, giving up training, giving up exercising. Shoot. So that's what led to me giving it up. Thought I could do this, but I guess it's a little more challenging than I thought it was. So I had given up the very thing that I really loved because I was paying too much attention to what people were saying. But what really went deeper than that is because I had lost my reason for doing the things that I was doing. And so started working full time, started going to school full time, and started making time the reason why I wasn't gonna be working out anymore. making time the reason why I stopped caring about how I looked. I stopped caring about my health. I stopped caring about my fitness. I made that the scapegoat. But the real reason, because I was hurt. The real reason I started neglecting myself was because my ego had taken a hit and I was feeling insecure. So, for me, my breaking point came when I was invited to a photo shoot at a local gym, and they wanted people to be extras in the background. So I went there. In exchange, you got to see the pictures from the shoot. When I saw the picture of how I looked, I was so disgusted with myself. I just didn't even recognize who I was. At that point, I was like, gained like 30 pounds, 35 pounds since I stopped playing football. It was almost like 2 years since I stopped working out, like 2 years straight of no exercise, no activity whatsoever. So I looked at myself and I didn't even recognize who I was. I was like, man, there's no way that's me. You know, I was disgusted. Like, there's absolutely no way that's how I look. And then now I started being even more insecure, you know. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I really lost confidence. I did not approach women at all. Wasn't getting the kind of attention that I used to get for women. And worst of all, you know, I no longer felt like a stud. You know, one of the most important things that I think every man should feel is feel very confident in their own skin. I think everybody should feel very confident in their own skin. So man, I started missing feeling like myself. I started missing feeling strong. I started missing looking at myself in the mirror and be like, wow, man, Iggy, you are a stud. I'm like, dude, you are the man. I didn't say that to myself anymore, you know? And so I was like, man, how do I get back to that? How do I get that feeling back? You know? And so I wanted to start getting into exercising, wanted to start, you know, get back to taking care of myself. But I kept running into the same issue, finding time. Only thing I knew at the time was how to train for 2 to 3 hours at a time. I just didn't have hours to put to the gym, you know? So I was like, so what do I need to do to get back to, start feeling like Iggy again? You know, so that's when I started really digging deep into and doing research and studying, like, man, okay, you know, what can I do if I can't train for hours on end to get my body looking the way I want it to look again? So I started doing research and started learning about the metabolism. I started studying anatomy and physiology, studying nutrition, started taking all these different classes and started learning like what really drove results, you know, what really determined how your body interferes with food and calories and all these different things. I started learning like really the most important thing was learning how to get my metabolism working for me again, how to get my metabolism absorbing nutrients and burning energy at a very efficient level. And then the other thing was learning how to balance my hormones, because those two things like amount for really like 90% of how you look and feel. And so once I discovered how to like start to manipulate those two things and how to condition my metabolism, and how to get like balance my hormones, little exercise things that I can do for my mind and different things like that. That's when I created like my own fat loss program for myself. And I started to get incredible results. But the problem with it was I was taking nutritional advice from people that was just putting like cookie cutter stuff out there. So I would like only ate chicken and broccoli for a long time, for like 6 months. Chicken, broccoli, oatmeal, boiled eggs. And so eventually I just got sick and tired of it. And so I decided to look for a better way, and I started doing research on, okay, so how's it that, I can start to look and feel the way that I want, but enjoy the process of it, Why does it have to be a grueling process that I hate? And so that's when I decided to get certified as a personal trainer, got my athletic performance specialization, and got weight loss specialization. And the result of doing all this study was really the creation of what I now call the 180 method, is discovering how to eat all the foods that I enjoy and not worry about losing my results. And once I figured that out, I really experienced the most incredible transformation ever. I lost the weight that I gained. I lost the fat, but then even more incredible is that I replaced all of it with muscle. Quite literally, like pretty much all the fat that I gained, I cut the fat down, and then I started to build back up and put on that muscle, and even became, I guess you could say, more jacked than I was when I used to play football. But the driving result was, man, one, not going back, but two, I started to experience something truly incredible, something truly beautiful internally. And the only way I really describe this is, if you know me by now, you know my philosophy, and you know this quote: when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good. And if they pay good, you better believe you are good. So that really started to happen, and as I started to look better, these feelings of just confidence and self-esteem and motivation, ambition, discipline, all these things started to just swell up to a level that they haven't been before, even more so than it was when I was playing football. I had gotten my mojo back. I look at myself in the mirror like, man, you're a stud. And not only that, I was getting attention from women at just a ridiculous rate, more so than I was before. And I was exuding confidence that I never had. I got a much better paying job. In fact, I was in an interview. This is how I know I changed so much. Before the transformation, I was so nervous in interviews, terrified. But now, I was in an interview and getting the opportunity to work at a job that I had no experience for. So I'm sitting in an interview, and the interviewer she was like, so what makes you think you're a good fit for this job? I looked her in the face and I was like, you're gonna be costing your business money not hiring me. I'm gonna be the best employee. I had nothing to prove to anybody. I've already proven to myself that if I set my mind to doing something, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna accomplish it no matter what. If I need to put in the time, the energy, whatever level of commitment that I need to do or have, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna attain it. If I don't know it, I'm gonna learn it, I'm gonna master it. And I got hired on the spot. So, man, I reflect on that and I was like, wow, I had completely become a different person. The way I looked at people was different. Before, I used to look down on people, that weren't in the best shape, because I didn't understand what they were going through. I didn't have compassion on people. I really didn't. I was so arrogant. I didn't have any compassion on people. Now I was starting to look at people with just love. Like, man, I want them to experience the same thing that I was able to experience. I want them to feel the same kind of feelings that I have. You know, I want them to be able to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, wow, I look amazing. I believe every single person deserves to have that. So for me, ever since I experienced that, I really made it my sole mission. My sole mission to help people look their best. You know why? Because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. And if they pay good, you better believe you are good. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you got a lot from that story, and I hope it inspires you to start your own journey or whatever it is that you need, journey to transform yourself. But yeah, have a great day, everybody. Deuces.